In today's video, I got a few quick tips on how to do water changes. Right now, we're out here in the fish cave, and if you've been hanging out with us here for a while, you know that all these tanks are on an automatic water change system. So my first tip for you is, if you have an automatic water change system, that's the best way to go. But I know that doesn't make sense for a lot of you out there, and believe it or not, there's even tanks that I have that aren't on the water change system, like this big guy right here. But in today's video, we're gonna do a water change on the 29-gallon inside. I got a few tips, a cool little product I wanna show you guys, and we're gonna announce the winner for the 5,000 subscriber giveaway. So let's do it. Both the tanks in the house, I do manual water changes on. The 55-gallon in the living room, I can use a Python. This one here, I use buckets, and then I drain it outside the window here as well. But I get started with just like an Ocoee Grabovac and just kind of get into the sand. So I'll do that real quick first. Getting me in the frame with the tank is going to be difficult, so you guys have to deal with a headless schmuck for now, but please bear with me. So essentially, I just get it started like normal. My first tip to you guys is get on a schedule, not only for a water change, but also make a checklist. So know when your water changes are, but make a checklist of the items you're gonna need before you start your water change. I keep a lot of them in the garage. I keep a little checklist that's kind of out of screen right now, and I kind of go, okay, I need the buckets, need the water changer. Now I add it to a list. A product you're gonna see me use in a second. So use the checklist that way. Once you get started, you're not forgetting. With this tank, like I said, the biggest thing in this tank is the mulm on the bottom, and also the shrimp. Now there's cherry shrimp in this tank, so you gotta be very, very careful when I'm doing my Grabovac, and then also when I am going to be just draining the rest of the water as well. And we're gonna be helped out by a product I'm gonna show you in a second called the Save-a-Fishy. But for right now, I'm just getting over the bulk particles, kind of keeping in mind to avoid the shrimp. And the biggest thing, like I said, in this tank I'm looking for is a lot of that mulm. I've got most of that mulm, so my kind of Grabovac is done for this tank. There's not a lot of big fish or even like tetras to kind of poop and get in the gravel. But if you have that, you want to make sure you get all that gravel and vacuum it good before you move on to the next step and drain the rest of the water. We're going to dump this water out the front door into the bushes. But before I do so, I'm going to get started draining the rest of the water in the tank. And before I do that, I'm going to put on this new product called Save-a-Fishy. Now, full disclosure, this product was sent to me by the inventor, and I appreciate her sending it out to me. No strings attached. This is not a promoted video. I didn't get paid any money, but she did send me a few of these for free to try out, and obviously to share with you guys if I thought it made sense. And I do think it makes sense for some applications. Not for everybody. I don't think everyone should rush out and get one of these, but I'm going to explain to you the benefits it has, I think, over some other things, and some of the downsides of it also. But let me go ahead and get started with it, and then we'll chat a little bit. Another tip is to make sure you turn off your heater and your filter, especially your heater and the filter, but you can turn off the lights too. I just kind of hit the kill switch to the whole tank when I'm draining the water. That way the heater is not going to overheat when it's out of the water. The filter won't run dry, etc. So let's talk about the Save-a-Fishy. First and foremost, if you're keeping simply big fish, it's not going to help you out. If you got a bunch of big Oscars and big cichlids and you're in there Grabovac and draining your tank, you don't need one. If you got a bunch of auto water changes and you don't use any Grabovacs, you don't need one. If you have some smaller fish or some shrimp tanks, you may need one. You may not. A long time ago, shortly after I got into the hobby, I was using a Grabovac and I was worried about my shrimp and small fish getting sucked in. I'm sure everyone's had that worry. I did some research online, did some Googling, and I found some pantyhose. Go down to the dollar store, get some pantyhose, bring them home, stick them on my Grabovac, and I realized that the mesh is really, really fine. You may have had that discovery as well. So it really kind of limits the flow. I've also used things like media bags or different types of a larger mesh and used kind of a rubber band to hold it in place. And I'm big on the DIY. So if you're super DIY and you don't mind something that's, not perfect, but maybe gets the job done, then go ahead and try to find something or buy something and rubber band it around the end of your Grabovac. In my opinion, that DIY method isn't the greatest. I'm all for keeping things cheap as possible, but I think in that case, it just falls short. And I've just been kind of using nothing instead of using a media bag or a pantyhose until I got sent this product. I think the size of the hole is one of the biggest benefits of the product. In my opinion, if you were to make the size much smaller so that a shrimplet couldn't get through, now we're talking the pantyhose territory again where you're restricting the flow too much. The good news is it does restrict the flow somewhat. So even if a shrimp is kind of swimming by or what have you, it's not gonna get sucked up as easily. So it's not a set it and forget it. However, with like schooling fish, tetras, even like neon tetras, guppies, they're not getting through that. Ultimately, you can decide if it's worth it for you. I think it's pretty cool and neat, and I'm surprised no one's brought up something or created something similar. So when I found out about it, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little upset that I didn't think of it first. And then she went out of her way. Like I said, this is a large size. It comes in 3 different sizes, and I wanted to play around with it. This is about the 3rd or actually 4th water change I've done with it now, and I wanted to try it on a few different types. I'll show you the Python in a second, but this is the large. It comes in a medium and a small. To be honest, the medium and the small, I don't have any Grabovacs that it fits, so I've only been using the large. And the large fits perfectly on the Aquarium. Like, it's nice and snug. I was worried it was gonna be, too big, too small. And then also, I'll show you, it fits on the Python as well here. This is a larger Python. And like I said, it fits the circumference. Just, it's not gonna fall off. It's snug enough that it doesn't fall off. So I thought that was really cool that she figured that out. It comes in 3 colors. The black you saw, this is the white. And then it also comes in like this aquamarine or like a teal color right here. She hooked it up big time. So if you guys are interested, like I said, this video is not sponsored or promoted in any way. However, she hooked it up and gave me a promo code that if you guys want to go ahead and try the product out and buy it, you're gonna get 30% off from now until January 5th. So if you enter the promo code LUCKY30, I'll put all this stuff in the description below. But between now and January 5th, it'll be 30% off, and then it'll be 20% off after that. So I'll have both of those codes down there below. And full disclosure, if you do buy one, I get a small percentage. So it's a win-win. You guys use the code, get percentage off. I get a little money, help fund the channel, and get a new camera that sooner. If you don't think it's worth trying out or doesn't fit your needs, that's cool too. I still appreciate you guys watching, and I really hope you learned some tips on how to do a water change. Don't forget to stay tuned. We're going to be announcing the winner of the giveaway here for 5,000 subscribers. The support has been phenomenal. We're actually close to 6,000 now. Hoping to reach that by the end of the year. And I'm really thankful to bring this product to you, and I want to bring more products to you guys in the future. Believe it or not, I've been approached by other people with other ideas or other products before, and I turned them down because I didn't think it was worth it. I didn't think the product made sense, and I didn't like it. It just wasn't worth it for me. And I've even seen other YouTubers make videos on that product, and that's cool. Maybe it's worked for them or it was worth it. So I'm not saying I have the most stringent, things, but I'm not just gonna throw you something that I don't think is worth it. I tried this out. I think it's worth it, not for everybody, but for my needs with the small fish, tetras, small schooling fish. It also is good if you have a kid. Let's say you want to have your kid get in the tank. There's a little more safe and security. The reason behind the inventor, I don't know. I didn't talk about dropping her name, so I'm just not going to share it out of her privacy. But she shared with me the reasons behind it. She's an aquarist. She lives here in Florida, and she's a local aquarist just like you and I. And she lost a fish and actually had a frog trapped kind of in the bubble here, and it kind of led her to invent this product. So I thought it was a cool story, but beyond that, it's a functional and I think a cool product. So like I said, hope this is first of many functional, cool, products. This is not necessarily game changing for everybody, but I think it's gonna fit a need in the hobby for a while. I won't bore you with watching me fill up the tank. We're gonna get right to the giveaway. But my last tip is when you're filling up the tank, don't walk away from the tank if you're leaving a hose or something, or get a water alarm. I know buckets, people hate on buckets, but when I'm filling up my Python versus filling up with buckets, if I'm using buckets, there's no way I can overfill the tank. I've done it before, knock on wood, it's been a while, but if you're filling back up your tank with a Python, don't walk away even for a second. You just keep your mind on it, set a timer. Worst comes to worst, if you have to walk away, set a timer and be very conservative with that timer. Let's get to the giveaway. All right, so here we are at the comment picker. There's 135 unique comments. Let's see who the winner is. They're gonna win a $25 gift card to Aquarium Co-op if you are here in the US. And if you are overseas, it's going to be a Amazon gift card. So congratulations to the winner, Chris Cromwell Smith. I'd like to get my black water tank up and running and work on breeding apistos in it. Well, that sounds like a pretty cool tank to me. And you may have to send me some apistos if you breed them, because that's definitely something I want to get into. But I'll reach out to you, Chris, and maybe you can use the gift card towards some tannins or some black water stuff. Sounds like a pretty neat tank. Congratulations. Thank you to everyone for subscribing and entering the contest. As always, guys, stay positive and stay passionate.